Hey racers, John Racer 3 here today, back for another video. It's been a while, but I've been hard at work making a new Hot Wheels setup, and I wanted to make a video just talking about it for you guys because there are a ton of things that I want to talk about with this new setup and this whole new era of content that's going to be coming to the page with this setup. And I figured a long form YouTube video where we really get down to the nitty gritty of what this setup is and what the content's going to look like going forward with this setup is something that I wanted to do. So I'm going to make this video. I'm going to show you guys everything that's going on, and this is a massive track, so massive that's probably going to be a work in progress forever because there are always improvements that I'm going to be making, and I want you guys to comment down below when you're watching this video if you have any ideas, any likes, any dislikes, any comments, any concerns about the distance track, because I put a lot of effort and thought into this to try and make it the best Hot Wheels setup that it can be with the space that I have, and I'm really proud of it. So I'm going to show you guys off what I've been working on and what all the content's going to be looking like in the future, because we've got some great stuff coming. As you can see here, we have two Hot Wheels tracks already set up right now. We have a single lane track and a double lane track with a 3-lane wide start gate, as it looks like there, that start on this side of the table. So on this side of the table, we'll just start over here. We have the shelves, the floating shelves here. This is the floating shelf here for the distance, and then the floating shelf here for the 2-lane for the fat track, I guess I will call it. All of these names are still a work in progress, but I'm very happy with what this setup looks like. As you can see, we have 3 shelves here, and then we have no shelves over here, actually, if the camera can focus. I'm working on getting some more shelves over there so that the versatility for this table is better, so I can have more starting positions if I need. But right now, this is my main starting position. This is the start gate for the Hot Wheels Distance Championship that is coming to my channel, I guess right now. As you can see, we have the yellow start gate there. This is a Hot Wheels piece actually that I get a lot of comments about as to where I get it, and actually I only got it maybe 5 or 6 years ago in like a Hot Wheels track set. So if you go to the link in my description and go to my website, you'll find some affiliate links that help me when you're looking to buy Hot Wheels supplies. And there are Hot Wheels supplies out there with tracks and turns and starters. So make sure you guys check out the link down below if that's something that interests you for building your own Hot Wheels setup. Because I get it, this single start gate for the single lane has really been a lifesaver for all of my videos. It's been like the most iconic piece in my videos because it's where the camera always starts off, looking at the start gate, and I don't know how it could be improved. So it's just a beautiful piece there, starting off the distance track. And as we go down the distance track, we have a very long straight, a very high speed straight going into what I like to call the arc. The arc is a blue Hot Wheels turn that I, again, got from some random Hot Wheels playset for 5, maybe 10 years ago now, a long time ago. And this blue Hot Wheels track I've actually used in my videos in the past for the first turn for my distance tracks. Now this first turn should be pretty great because the cars carry a ton of speed. They go up pretty steep banking there, as you can see around the arc, and they don't lose a lot of speed. So unfortunately, if the car is a super flat splitter, like for instance, let's take a NASCAR car, as you can see, there isn't a lot of leeway there between the front tires and the front body. So when the car goes around the arc, it actually drags, which isn't the best for super flat cars, but luckily the flat cars can still even make it around the arc. If they don't, there's a little pillow there that they can just crash on so that they don't damage the table or the car itself, and it's actually helped me out a lot when I'm going to test cars and testing the track as well. So if we stay over here in this corner for a second for the setup, as you can see, we've got some RGB backlighting in the back, which we'll get to later. We have a monitor. This is a 24-inch gaming monitor that I've just repurposed for this setup to just hold this graphic, I guess at this point, for the JR3 Super Speedway, name pending. Right underneath it, we have a NASCAR podium, and on it, we have our 2 NASCAR champions. If you guys don't know, I've done some collaborations with NASCAR for the past 2 years, and these are the 2 champions. We have the 2022 NASCAR X John Racer 3 Playoffs champion. Really got to workshop that name. And then the year after, the 2023 champion was Ryan Blaney, who actually ended up winning the championship that year, which I think is pretty cool. So that's just hanging out back in that corner. Over here, right next to the pillar, we actually have a scale. This is something that I'm going to be using for a Hot Wheels series coming very, very soon, where it weighs the car. I get a lot of comments about like what makes the car fast, what makes, like, why are some cars faster than others, and really it's a weight thing. So I have this little scale here to show off how much cars usually weigh. For example, I will show off this Kyle Busch car here. On the scale, it weighs 1.3 ounces, which is actually pretty heavy for a diecast car. Usually the weights range between 1.5 to 0.9 ounces. So there is a bit of disparity between the weights of the cars that go on this track, but that is a whole nother Hot Wheels science video that I will get into later. So let's continue down this Hot Wheels distance track. Down the arc, we have some Hot Wheels track jacks. That's what these are called. If you look up Hot Wheels track jacks, they're these really cool pieces that you can put together that have a bunch of Hot Wheels track like pieces on it, where you can hook up Hot Wheels track to the track jacks. And I think these things are great. As you can see, I have them just holding up the track to and from the arc, which I think is pretty great. And it's a really nice piece to just keep the track stable. It's important to keep this track stable so that when the cars go around, it doesn't wobble and the cars don't lose the speed. The more stiff the track is, the faster the cars are going to go. And speaking of the speed of the cars, we're going to go right to one of my favorite parts of this whole setup, the JLH Crafts Speed Trap. This speed trap is pretty great. I talked to the people at JLH Crafts about this speed trap because I really liked it, and I just knew I had to pick one up for myself. So basically what happens is when the car travels between these two red dots here, it'll track the distance or the time for the distance traveled for the car from this point to this point, and that's how it judges the speed. And since the cars are 1/64th scale, I believe what happens in this little computer here is that it calculates what that scale speed would be for the actual car. So that's why you see speeds in some of my videos that range from anywhere from 150 to like 220 scale miles an hour. Again, that's not the actual speed of the Hot Wheels is traveling down the track. It's just the speed that the computer scales it up to based on the size of the car. So this is a really great part of this track. I think it gives some more analytics to talk about in the videos, and I think it just looks great. Looks great? No, it looks great. JLH Crafts, this is a great product, and if you like what you see in your videos, definitely check them out. Tell them John23 sent you. This place is really cool, and I guess I can't really say this is cool enough because it rates the scale speed of the cars. I mean, like, what else could you want? And now we get over to turn 2. Now this could be a little confusing because I call this turn 2 because this is the second turn of the distance track and I guess the second turn of the fat track, making this the whole turn 2 area. Now what I have set up here is a bunch of cars for a video coming in the future and a project coming in the future, but I just want to show off some of the versatility options that this table has for just leaving out cars. As you can see, there's just some lines, some dividers for if I ever want to organize cars for videos and setups and stuff. And I have this tiny little oval here that has no sort of entry for cars to actually race on, and it's more of just a staging place for the cars that are going to be going on the track for videos and such, which I think is pretty cool. So continuing on with the distance track, the orange track then eventually turns into the fat track. Now I'm calling the orange track part of this distance setup Sector 1. And then once they complete the orange track and move on to the fat track, that makes it Sector 2. So there's going to be 2 sectors of the track here. So once the faster, like usually the really fast Hot Wheels castings get to this part of the track, they are then on their own to race and get as far as they can on the fat track. And I love this part of the track. Let me explain to you why. A lot of the time, if there was a super fast car going down the Hot Wheels distance track, you would be able to see it go super fast down the orange track, but there wouldn't be a lot that the car could do afterwards. So as you can see here, the gold Sesto Elemento doing really well, ending off on the second sector of the track, and it ends off around right here on the fat track, which is not bad, but it could have been a lot worse. So now if we were to run the Sesto Elemento again, we would see it complete the orange track, the Sector 1 part of the track, pretty easily again, but this time it doesn't have the exact same speed as last time because there's some leeway that cars can make on the inside of the fat track curve or just like where they are depending on the track. So this is where the Sesto ended last time, and this is where the Sesto ended now. So there's a lot more, I guess, diversity that can happen in the Hot Wheels distances. As you see there, 222 scale mile an hour speed, that's pretty good. But there's a lot more diversity and just like range in the finishing positions of these cars. That way, when the distance championship starts picking up again, then the super fast cars will probably have different speeds and distances based on how many times they've done this track. I have these little distance markers on the fat track here to really tell where the cars end off. There's a double-sided sticky tape line there on the, I guess, ruler, I guess scale for where the cars end up, so that when the cars land, they won't be rolling around the table if other cars are shaking it or whatever, and they just stay stuck to where they actually finished, which is a really nice thing to have for a distance setup. I don't know how many of you guys have Hot Wheels distance setups like in your house, but it's really hard to keep them exactly where they finished because cars have wheels and they roll around and you don't know exactly where they finish. So having the sticky tape on the paper next to the track is really nice to just keep the cars in place once they finish their run. And yeah, I really like how the cars can just go as far as they possibly can on this black fat track without knowing that they're going to be super safe on the orange track, just depending on how far the distance is. Now, I have advertised this track as being infinite, and that's because this fat track loops all the way around to a turn 2, and then it ends right underneath this 2-lane setup. Now, this is still a work in progress because what I would like to happen is have the cars sort of funnel into a single lane once they get around turn 2 on the fat track, so that if there's a car that is unbelievably fast, it can continue around turn 2 on the distance track and keep going, merge into the distance track, and just keep going around the oval, thus making it an infinite distance track, which I think is pretty cool. I am yet to find the Hot Wheels track pieces that I need to make this happen though, because as you can see, we have the fat track here, and then we have the 2 tracks, and then I need a merger, but I can't have just any kind of lane merger, you know, because the cars are carrying a lot of speed when they're going down here, and if they have to hit a corner to merge into another track, that's going to slow them down, and I don't want that. So I need a lane merger that has a super straight lane on the left, and then all of the lanes to the right of that merge into it. I have not been able to find anything like that online. If there are any people who make something like that or know where to buy one, please let me know in the comments. I think that would be awesome because I love this distance track and I just want to keep making it better and better and better. Now you might be asking, John, what are you doing with the 2-lane track up there? Well, I am getting super interested in just like pack racing on the fat track. Now, I know a lot of you guys on YouTube love the fat track racing. It's the kind of content that I made for years before I kind of went to college and only started doing the shorts and the distance stuff. But I want to get back into it. So what this is this is the start of a whole new Hot Wheels series. The announcement's going to be coming out soon. I've been working on it for a while, but I'm not going to talk a lot about that in this video. This video is primarily just to talk about the setup. And basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. The cars go down here. You can have more than one car in each lane, so you can do 2x2 typically for the races, or you could have a third lane, get rid of the Hot Wheels distance track, entering in on this lane 1 here for the fat track, and just have the 3 lanes go down into turn 3, I guess. That's really just for the distance track. This is turn 1 for the fat track, but turn 3 for the distance track. And this fat track setup is supposed to breed some really good racing. So I don't have to explain how Hot Wheels races work, because I figure since you guys are all subscribed to this channel, you would know that Hot Wheels racing works like Hot Wheels racing. I don't need to explain that, but this is what this track setup is. It is a very multi-purpose, multi-setup track setup that I have been trying to innovate and just perfect for the last few months. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with it. You got some fan favorite cars over there, like the F1 car and Lightning McQueen. I know I'll get a bunch of comments about, hey, you should race F1 cars, you should race car movie cars. They don't really fit on Hot Wheels track, so I just wanted to have them there for representation. And I almost forgot the Lego grandstands. I can't forget the Lego grandstands. These are something that the commenters on Instagram and TikTok have been wanting for a while, because I've had these bleachers from Slamman Customs, thank you Slamman Customs, but with nothing on them. So I decided to put some Lego figures on there, and I think it looks pretty great. We're gonna have some Lego content coming in the future as well. There's room for sponsors, there's room for other Hot Wheels tracks to go on this setup, and there's just a lot of room to innovate with this setup, which is what I'm super excited about. If racing gets boring, then I can always just change up the track setup. I can change the start gate to somewhere else. I could add more turns. I can add different things onto the fat track, and I can add ramps and everything. And I think it would be really cool if I just kept working on the setup until we get to a point in the future where the videos just make themselves with everything that's on the track and all of the cars and all of the fans. And I cannot wait to start making these Hot Wheels videos for you guys. So thank you guys for listening to me rant for a couple minutes about this Hot Wheels track setup. I'm super happy with it. I think it turned out great. And I am going to sign off the video here. You have a lot of videos to come. I'll give you a sneak peek if you're watching this now. We've got a 2024 Hot Wheels Festival of Speed lineup coming up, and it's going to be a full video on the YouTube coming very, very soon, and I cannot wait to show you guys. So thank you guys so much for all of your continued support, and I cannot wait to make more videos with you guys. And yeah, that's all I have. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.